Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. I want uh, to teach you how to read English printer like native speaker. Jadi teman-teman, di sini saya akan mencoba untuk membuat tutorial membaca bahasa Inggris dengan lancar seperti native speaker. Oke, sekarang kita melihat dari berita The Guardian ya. Without clarity and leadership, there's plenty of fear for the UK economy, Larry Elliot. Jadi cara membaca bahasa Inggris itu kadang gampang-gampang sulit ya. Tapi nih, ini ada tips sama teman-teman. Jadi dilakukan berulang-ulang. Oke, langsung aja ya, action. Oke. It was the sort of speech Boris Johnson used to make. Britain is on course for the most spectacular quarter of growth in its history. Paham di sini ya. Consumers are spending freely on houses and cars. Oke, bisa ya diikuti. Good news about the economy is being quoted about the doomsters and gloomsters in the media. As Franklin Delano Roosevelt once said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Beda ya, maksudnya kalau kita baca di Indonesia tuh beda. Coba di Indonesia, ini bukan membanding-bandingkan, tapi sebagai bahasa yang digunakan sebagai alat komunikasi tentu kita melakukan dengan maksimal, ya kan? Contohnya kalau di kita bisa kayak gini, bukan mengejek apa-apa ya, tapi ya kita bandingkan kan. This thought was not the prime minister because since the start of coronavirus crisis, Johnson has turned from tiger into Eeyore. Instead, it was left to the chief economist at the banks of England and the Haldane to make the rallying cry. There was once the PM trademark, hitting out thus determined to allow in pessimists. The street official called it the economy of chicken list. Bagaimana menurut Anda, teman-teman? Sobat luar biasa, kece. Ini memang tidak masalah, tapi kalau Anda ke dunia profesional, terutama yang berhubungan dengan satu negara ke negara lain, itu menjadi hal yang menghambat baik itu karir Anda ataupun usaha Anda. Jadi karena mereka tuh berbicara dengan natif, Anda juga tidak mengerti, mereka juga bingung ini bagaimana, kenapa begini cara berbicaranya, kayak gitu. Jadi memang beda. Contohnya kayak gini nih, kalau kita gunakan dari logatnya UK dulu ya. Ini kalau UK, coba lihat. This star was not the prime minister because it's saying the star of coronavirus crisis Johnson has turned from tiger into a lure. Jadi yang pertama tadi kayak Amerika ya, ini jadi British. Coba ya, agak ada perubahan dikit. Instead it was left to the chief economist at the banks of England and the Haldane to make this sort of rallying cry. There was once the prime trademark. He hitting out thus determined to follow and pessimist. The traditional street official calls and the economists of chicken links after the fictional force who Washington's hit on the head by an acorn that the sky was about to fall in. Jadi kayak di Harry Potter ya, bisa melihat jadi suaranya halus. Terus kalau di Amerika Serikat itu, untuk US itu agak full suaranya. Kenapa? Karena orang-orang Amerika Serikat adalah transmigran yang bukan hanya dari British, tapi dari kayak England, Netherlands atau Belanda, terus Jerman, Prancis yang penggunaan bahasanya saya coba tonton filmnya kayak Hitler itu suaranya beda. Jadi kayak kalau US kayak gini, this start was not the prime minister because the same start of the coronavirus crisis Johnson has turned from trigger into ice year. Instead, it was left to the chief economist at the Banks of England and Andy Haldane to make the sort of rallying cry that was the PM trademark. Heading out thus determined to all its pessimists, they come on ya. The Treatment Street official call the economist are the chicken licken after the fictional phones who having the head on the head by a cone felt the sky was about to fall in. Oke ya, kira-kira begitulah perbandingannya. Anda bisa melihat ya, mungkin pengucapannya ada yang ini kurang benar, tapi overall ya begitu. Nah, kita lanjutkan aja cara bacanya, nggak harus ke British atau US, tapi sebenarnya keduanya itu memiliki agak mirip-mirip sih. Kadang kayak ada kan pencampuran keduanya. Oke, lanjut. Haldane's speech might have been better time. This, after all, was the week when the death toll from COVID-19 passed the million mark. The number of new cases in UK reached record levels, and one employees surveyor said they were likely to announce redundancies in the next 3 months. Semicolon. That said, Haldane has a point. The economic news has been better. Jadi ada orang yang mengatakan bahwa aku pernah ke Pare ya, kampung Inggris. Ada di situ seorang turis, bukan turis sih, tapi orang Amerika Serikat yang bukan jadi warga negara Indonesia, tapi menikah dengan warga negara Indonesia. Dia mengajar dari tutor di Pare. Katanya tenses is not important, jadi tenses itu tidak penting. Wow, itu tata bahasa bro. Kalau di Indonesia Anda belajar bahasa baku, memang kalau berbicara gue lo kan itu memang tidak masalah. Tapi kalau Anda masuk ke profesional, di mana kita sebagai orang bukan native ya, tapi dari second speaker ini penting, karena belajar surat, kita melihat tentunya kerjasama perusahaan, apakah ini usahanya betul orangnya, kita melihat bagaimana tata tulisannya. Kalau contohnya dia tata tulisannya tidak benar, bagaimana kita percaya dengan orang seperti itu? Jadi penting juga ya, walaupun kalau speaking, berbicara, conversation nggak terlalu diperhatikan, tapi lebih baik kita memahami. Oke, lanjut dah, kita ulangi di sini. It is also true that there is disconnect between the low levels of consumer confidence and actual spending patterns. Individuals have been trading posters that they are commonly downbeat about the prospect for the economy, but they hadn't stopped them applying for a mortgage or trading in the car for a new model. This seeming conundrum is actually easy to explain. Paham? Bisa diikuti ya, guys. Our top economy output contracted by almost 20% in the second quarter. Disposable household incomes barely fell at all. The government has so far picked up the tab, paying the wages of millions of workers who were furloughed when the economy was locked down. For the first few months of the crisis, households saved money. When the restrictions were eased, ini pakai ed ya, jadi ini bentuk ketiga ya, ada to be-nya. They ran on the bit of a spending spree using some of the cash they had squaring away. As a result, the fixed 6 months of COVID-19 has been something of a pain war. Perang ya. There has been pain. Penderitaan ya, bisa sambil kita belajar vocabulary. But it has been much less severe than might have been expected given the drop in output. The tricky bit starts now because, as Haldane acknowledged, the UK faced an unholy trinity of risk rising COVID-19 case load that is leading to local lockdown and reimposition of national restriction, higher unemployment, and the possibility of no deal Brexit. Jadi ini kan berita tentang COVID-19 ya, di mana seluruh dunia kena dengan COVID-19. Jadi kalau kita bisa memahami bahasa Inggris, memang buat apa sih Indonesia sudah makin maju? Itu penting. Penting sih menurut saya pribadi ya. Akan lebih baik kita paham bahasa internasional lah, bukan karena ini dari Inggris. Karena kenapa bahasa Inggris itu penting? Karena Inggris itu dalam Perang Dunia Kedua menjadi salah satu pemenang dalam pertempuran. Jadi mereka itu mengadopsi bahasanya ke negara lain, dan tanpa bahasa internasional akan sangat susah untuk bekerjasama dengan negara-negara lain. Jadi ya begitulah. Leadership matters, and it will help if Johnson could articulate his message as clearly as VDR. Jadi bukan VDR ya, jadi VDR. Kalau Amerika kalau British bisa bukan desa tapi yang kayak gitu. When he blamed the Great Depression and unspeculated excess of Wall Street, he said mass unemployment will not be tackled merely by talking about it, and declared that he would take the crisis as seriously as America had been invaded. Okay, ya. The other would require the government to decide that its strategy is because it can seem to make up. Make up ini bukan untuk kayak make up aja ya, tapi membuat ya, ini membuat up, mengangkat. Itu juga bukan untuk apa ya. Oke, lanjut dulu dah. It means whether the aims, karena ini kan kita reading ya, is managed to virus, bukan virus, to suppress it, or a mixture of the two. Breathe in, kalau English itu bisa breathe in, bisa breathe in bisa juga. Needs its equivalent of the New Deal. What it is getting is moving too. In August, jadi bukan August, when the number of new cases was low, Rishi Sunak was encouraging people to dine out and treasury in order to boost the struggling hospitality industry. The public plus big cares didn't need much persuading to check or they cut price over. Bukan over ya, over itu lebih. Offer menawarkan. A month after the end of each out to help out, restaurants now have to turn customer out by 10 p.m. Meaning in effect that they can arrive not later than 8 to 8:13 p.m. There is talk of another nation lockdown to circuit breakers in response to recent surge in COVID-19 cases. The sort of zigzagging bridge fears. Ketakutannya. If the government decide the coronavirus trumps all other consideration, ministers must do whatever is necessary to minimize the knock-on impact on the economy. Jadi memang ekonomi dunia ini suatu perhatian yang begitu besar ya untuk hal-hal krisis seperti ini. To stop business from going bust, to provide financial help for especially vulnerable sectors, to extend more generously welfare payments, and to have local floods where there are local lockdowns. Kenapa ini pakai S? Karena local lockdown di sini bukan dilakukan di satu tempat saja, tapi di banyak tempat, dan ini tubuhnya pakai R bukan S ya. But where there should be clarity, there is confusion. Ada keraguan. Apa ya confusion? Lanjut dulu lah. Lupa. The consensus says that it focus on saving as many jobs ya, pakai S karena banyak ya, as possible, but is calling back support to the labor market because the treasury is uncomfortable about the cost of fighting. Kadang nggak dibaca G-nya atau langsung T-nya, fighting ya, fighting COVID-19. So it's clear that the deficit will be bigger this year. Itu bisa kan kalau di SMP, SD atau SMA kan year ada ayat 2 Ini itu ada iya. Than ever before in peacetime has to come down. Measurement and at doing just they have been postponed, not abandoned. Here too, there is an echo of VDR who watered down the impact of New Deal by cutting spending before the economy had full recovery and sent the US plunging back into recession in 1937. Jadi tahun 1937 itu juga ada resesi loh. Itu sekarang dulu lagi. The Great Depression really comes to end only when the need to prepare for war means budgetary conservation were no longer relevant. This is the real reason from 1930s and early 1940s and the COVID-19 depression a threat that will soon disappear, or it is an essential threat. If the former, there is no point of creating of economic and combat it. If the latter, there should be no expense spared to protect jobs and business. Nobody asked the Chancellor of Exchequer whether most Spitfires and affordable as summer 1940 was won by some bit, however memorable. Oke. Jadi begitu teman-teman ya. Kalau menutup kayak gini. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. It's very honor for me for you to watching this video. Thank you very much. Jadi kayak gitu. Terima kasih teman-teman sudah guys dari teman sudah menonton video ini. Semoga dapat berguna dan bermanfaat. Itu langsung saya tutup sekali lagi. Nggak sekali lagi. Itu langsung penutup ya. Oke begitu sekian dan terima kasih.